It's Darkside Phil's Game of the Year Awards for 2015, the top 10 best games of the year. This is it. I'm about to announce my pick for the best game of 2015, but before we do, very briefly, what did I like about each game? Well, Fallout 4, definite improvements in the graphics, the first-person shooter gameplay, tons of additions with the amount of factions in the game, the amount of followers you could have, the amount of open-world locations, the amount of side questing, there's just so many improvements, the crafting, the settlements, tons of things that were added that really felt like natural progressions of the game. In addition, the game did have some negatives though, with some graphics that chugged along, long loading times, low frame rates in certain parts, and bugs, which is infamous as part of the Fallout series. What about Bloodborne? Cool graphics, great gothic atmosphere, natural progression of the controls of From Software games with parry system implemented with distance weapons, as well as a dodge system instead of the defensive system with shields and stuff of the Dark Souls games, a wide variety of content, a huge open world, tons of optional bosses, and a cool, almost endgame optional dungeon. Both of these games stand up to the test of anyone saying that they're Game of the Year, and I don't think that anyone would have an issue with someone saying that one or the other was Game of the Year. But ultimately, I have to make a decision, and that decision is... Oh, shit! Wow! That was the nick of time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. My decision for pick of Game of the Year of 2015 is Fallout 4. Now, I want you to understand something. It was incredibly close, and I actually went back and forth between these two games for a while before I made my final decision. And ultimately, here's why I think that Fallout 4 was the better game, at least for me. It really did feel like the most progressive of all the games that I played this year, the most improvements over the previous games in these series. In addition, the one decisive factor that really made me pick Fallout 4 over Bloodborne, and I know a lot of people will have issue with this, the story makes sense, the story has massive replayability, and the story is actually told to you during the course of the game without you having to go out of your way to crazy bend over backwards and figure out what the hell is going on. I'm sure that tons of people who played Bloodborne played that game from start to finish and had no fucking clue what the significance of any of the things that they fought in the game were supposed to be, and just thought it was a cool gothic horror style game. I agree that it's fun to be able to look up and or search for items and things in the game that may or may not explain some stuff, but it's, in my opinion, too cryptic in this line of games. Dark Souls and now Bloodborne, they're so cryptic. There's so many H.P. Lovecraftian references in this game that if the game would just kind of tell you that's what the fuck it's supposed to be, you'd be like, oh, I get it. But 9 times out of 10, I guarantee people beat the game where we're like, I don't know what the fuck just happened. And then you have to look at descriptions of items and read different things in your menus to try to piece together what happened. And still then, you have to go to like the Bloodborne wiki to figure that shit out. Why can't they, for once, just make a plot that makes fucking sense without having to do hours of additional research? I don't understand that from Software. And honestly, yes, the combat, the action gameplay of Bloodborne was amazing. But for me, a game's not just about gameplay, it's also about story, it's about narrative and the complete package. And Bloodborne kind of makes you fend for yourself to figure that out, while Fallout 4 does not. And that's why ultimately I picked Fallout 4 for my favorite game of the year. Of course, there will be people going robble in the comments or whatever, and that's perfectly fine. I still think that both of these games are amazing, and anyone could easily say that they are Game of the Year picks, but for me, it's gotta be Fallout 4 this year. Alright, so that is it for my Game of the Year countdown for 2015. I certainly hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. And let's hope for another positive year in 2016. I've actually looked at the game release list, and it looks pretty damn good. This may be the first year in a while where we actually have an early loaded year, in the first several months of the year being super loaded with big titles and AAA releases, and the second half of the year kind of being more slow. I guess we'll have to see, but I'm certainly looking forward to it, and I hope that you'll join me right here on DSP Gaming for raw gameplay, as well as over on my upcoming new channel for all kinds of edited content, reviews, montages, and the like. More on that coming shortly. But anyway, I digress. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the countdown, and I'll see you later.